Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as can be in just about 20 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello. With me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how you doing this week?
I'm feeling a little spooky.
Well, it is not quite the fall for normal humanity, but in Disney terms, we are now in the fall, so that means we are in the midst of Halloween. You'll see pumpkins kind of appear all over property, and today we are talking about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
If the craft stores can do it, I guess Mickey can do it too.
Yeah, we've had Halloween candy in the convenience stores around here. It's like terrifying, but I guess it is now. We are shifting to the fall, especially in the Magic Kingdom.
As they say, this is Halloween.
All right,
and they start nice and early, and as much as every year I look at the dates and I say, really? It goes to a sold-out crowd. And I think part of that goes to the excitement over what fun this party is. And part of that goes to there are people who can only vacation when their kids are out of school. And so they wouldn't be able to celebrate Halloween with Disney if this didn't happen starting in August each year.
Well, so my overall impression of the event every year is that it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. The theming is tremendous. If you're looking to grab candy, you can't beat it. And my kids
I buy a couple bags of candy much cheaper though, Jeff.
Yeah, but that's different. That's different though when your kids are going around and they're getting candy in the Magic Kingdom. So like from an overall impression standpoint, from a family with young kids that can hack staying up later, it's a great event.
If you have good weather, it's a phenomenal time. It's usually good temperatures as the sun goes down, smaller crowds. I'm not going to say no crowds, lots of extra exciting things. And you definitely hum along and enjoy the beginning of the holiday season for the fall holidays.
So let's break down some just general details for folks, because whenever we do a show like this, like an extra magic type of event, after hours type of thing, people are always curious, what are the dates, what is the expense, what are the discounts, all that stuff. So let's rattle all those off as efficiently as possible.
There are 38 nights of Halloween. Amazing for those going. Keep in mind, for those not going, it does mean there are 38 nights this fall. The park will close at 6 p.m.
Correct.
And that's going to be from August 9th through October 31st. The party is officially 7 to midnight. However, if you don't have a park ticket for the day, or you have a base ticket and you are elsewhere, you can enter the Magic Kingdom starting at 4 p.m. through that special party entrance. Tickets are date-based, so they cost different for more premium times. Prices are $149 to $199 in adult, $10 off for children. And select nights, annual pass holders and DVC members can get a ticket discount.
Well, so it's a DVC event at certain points with the discount, as you said. So whenever we talk anything DVC, we talk about our friends over at dvcnews.com. So for more than a decade, DVC News has provided the latest news and information regarding the Disney Vacation Club timeshare program and its member resorts. Visit them at dvcnews.com, where you can sign up for their email newsletter, or look for them at facebook.com/DVC News or twitter.com/DVC News. I know that they're always quick to post some of these things, whether it's strictly DVC or not. This is obviously no exception. Love that there's a little option there for the DVC folks to get their love.
Most definitely. Everybody's good with saving a few dollars.
All right, so you mentioned it's 38 nights, began, a couple days ago, and runs through actual Halloween. Anything else as far as general details, or do we want to kind of dive into really who this is targeted for?
If you're going this season and you haven't bought your tickets yet, don't wait. Tickets definitely sell out. Normally, we see Halloween and opening night sell out first. They already sold out back in July. Other dates are definitely selling out, and it is not standard for tickets to be available online or through a travel agent by the week before. Sometimes you can get lucky, and if you already have park admission, there are some day of tickets often available right in guest services in the Magic Kingdom, but definitely don't wait anymore to buy your tickets.
Yeah, that was something that was over the last couple of years. They had like a little spot off to the side there at the Magic Kingdom. It's like, oh, if you want a ticket, you can go ahead and still do it. But so who would you say this is really for, as far as the general audience?
There's so many people it can be for. It's for those that are costume character hunters. It's for those looking for shorter lines, thrill rides, unique experiences. There's a lot of different people that can really love this party, but I think the key is what you and I have talked about and you alluded to before. The party, while again you can get in at 4, is officially 7 to midnight. If you or your family is not going to be able to stay till at least 10, although I encourage you to stay till midnight, I don't suggest buying the tickets. They're not inexpensive. There's so many great things to do, but you need to be able to stay awake for them. So if you've got, a 3 and a 4-year-old, they may not make it that late unless they're typically night owls. So don't spend all this extra money for something you're not going to get to enjoy.
Well, and that's what I said, right? My kids are right in the wheelhouse as far as age, that there's a lot of stuff there for them, but they also were able to hang until about 11:30-ish.
Don't do it. Remember, we've talked about this before. Closing time, which for this party is midnight, is the last minute that you can get on a ride. And again, there's some fabulous ones in Magic Kingdom to take advantage of during the party. The only thing I will say is typically they leave the gift shops open later. They're not so generous on the party night because it is so late for everybody. And there is Halloween-specific merchandise that can only be purchased during the party. So while you don't want to carry it around all night, don't cut it too close in stopping in the Emporium to grab those great items.
So we kind of go over this party annually. We have, at least in the history of our show. So talk to us about what's new this year for folks that are going maybe for the first time or maybe for the 100th time.
I think the big new things are Maribel and Bruno meet and new costumes for Mickey, Minnie, and the Fab Five. I think it's still like we've said every year in the past, and we say this for the Christmas party too. I wish my workday went as quick as this party goes. I don't know how. 5 hours is gone in, I swear, about 90 minutes.
It does. It disappears. You're right.
And there's so many things. Maybe you're going for the short lines. Maybe you're going for some phenomenal specialty food. Maybe you're going for the shows. Maybe you're going for the unique character appearances. I will say it's not possible to do it all. It's possible to do little bits of everything, but I definitely recommend people go in with a strategy. We really want to focus on rides. Characters are a priority. Shows are a priority. And really know what you're doing because the time goes so quickly. And of course, there's trick-or-treating in between.
Yes, and the trick-or-treating is at various locations that are kind of all over the park. But one of the things that you mentioned is having a plan. And I think that a lot of people really, really focus on parades. So let's talk about that as far as people can plan for it.
This parade is a crowd favorite. It is going to be 8:15 and 11:15, so twice nightly. It follows that standard parade route, starting all the way back in Frontierland, making its way through in front of the castle, around the hub, and then all the way down to the front of the park. Weather providing, it will start with the infamous Headless Horseman ride.
Right.
My favorite are the grave diggers with their big shovels going up against the pavement. It makes such a great sound, and every once in a while you'll even see a little spark. If you can make it for the 11:15 parade, it is much less crowded. The other thing is, while everybody's at the 8:15 parade, the attractions are much less crowded. So those who are sticking it out all night, definitely, go for that late parade. And again, little bit of strategy with the parade. If you're doing the 11:15 parade and it's the very last thing you're doing, I suggest you get a spot by the front of the park. If you're doing the 11:15 parade and trying to get one or two more rides in, depending what those rides are, you don't want to be any further forward in the park than the castle. There's great views everywhere along the parade route.
And one of the things that I think they do pretty well here is that there are different types of shows that exist for this particular time of year. So talk to us about, we get to see our favorite witches from Hocus Pocus.
The Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular is the stage show this year in front of the castle. It is 3 times per night in August and early September, but it is so incredibly popular that they add a 4th show as we get later into the season. And again, you can see that from quite a bit of distance, but get there early. Even with 4 shows, it is packed. I know people who even see it twice in one night because it's a great show.
And what about for kids my age, my kids' age, right? They're big Disney Junior folks. What do we have for them?
Always a hit is the Moonlight Melodies Disney Junior Dance Party. And again, way in the back of the park. That is under the big tent. But it's an opportunity to dance up close with your Disney Junior characters. I have been to that dance party many times. You'll see anywhere from 10 to 30 children with 3 or 4 characters. So better than a character meal, lots of engagement, lots of opportunity to get close to your favorites.
Yeah, a lot of fun. People also make their plan and they have to include fireworks in it. So what do we got as far as specific fireworks?
Not so spooky, spectacular fireworks. And it should be noted, if you're not doing a Halloween party, there are no regular admission fireworks because it's not dark enough yet.
Right.
If you don't want to spend for the Halloween party, but you really want to see those not so spooky fireworks, make a meal reservation anywhere on the monorail loop and head outside. You'll miss all of the projections on the castle, but you'll still see everything that takes to the sky.
Now, one of the things that I know is near and dear to your heart are some of the enhancements that they have for folks that are those that are taking part in following along with shows through American Sign Language. So talk to us about where that makes an appearance in this party.
Interestingly enough, Disney does an amazing job with sign language. There is a interpreting team in one park every day of the week. You can also, I'll give my little sign language pitch here. You can request an interpreter at Hoop-Dee-Doo or at any Disney cruise with 2 weeks notice. And it's always been an on request for the Halloween parties. This is the first year that I've seen them designate 3 parties that will always have the ASL interpreters with a note that you can request them 2 weeks in advance for any party. So August 23rd, September 26th, and October 24th are the ASL dates. I highly recommend, if you're on one of those dates, making a point to see a stage show that has the interpretation or even the parade or some of the attractions. Even if you don't know sign language, it is an incredible art, as far as I'm concerned, to watch them sign. And the Disney teams are phenomenal. You won't be disappointed. And maybe it'll strike a passion in somebody, in you or your family.
It's one of those things, too, especially if it doesn't impact your traveling party, you maybe are unaware of. But if it is somebody that really would benefit from that being a part of their experience, it's nice to know that that's there so that you can ask for that. The 2-week thing it's a big deal. It's a lot. It's news to some people that don't know it.
Most definitely.
All right, let's move on to dining. Talk to us about what we have as far as specialty stuff for the party.
I'm all about the specialty stuff. Disney does keep several of the restaurants open, both quick service and sit down. And I implore you all, if you're spending for a Halloween party ticket, please don't do a sit-down dining reservation. You've got those 5 hours that I said go by in 90 minutes. Why would you take an hour and a half to 2 for dining?
Don't know. I wouldn't go to Skipper's Canteen during this time.
I would skip the canteen.
Yes.
I will also caution people who think that they can sneak into the party or extend their day.
Yeah.
The park closes at 6 for day guests and opens at 7 for the party. If you are a party guest, you don't need to leave in that hour, but things like the specialty snacks and the specialty shopping won't be out yet. when you go to make dining reservations, whether you're looking at Cinderella's Royal Table, Be Our Guest, you will see the dining reservations for Halloween party nights are very clear. These are day reservations. These are Halloween party ticket required reservations. So no, they will not let you make a 6:05 reservation and be seated. You will get to the restaurant and you will be turned away. You have to have a party wristband if you are making a party time reservation. So not worth trying. But as usual, they have a whole array of snacks. You could spend your whole party giving them extra money and trying some great new treats. 2 new ones this year are the sweet and spicy beignets. There is a berry and cayenne pepper one, as well as a chicory coffee one.
Ooh, interesting.
And I think my favorite, mostly to look at, is there is a new Madame Leota candle that is a red velvet cake. It was delicious, but it is definitely a little work of art.
Yeah.
So lots of fun Halloween treats to be had, in addition, obviously, to the candy all over.
Well, that's the thing, right? These things are so beautiful and fun to look at. Sometimes it's just horrible to have to eat them, but you got to do what you got to do.
We'll make the sacrifices.
I've known you to do that. That is definitely who you are. I know that you also have spent time your entire life trying to find different characters, different costumes, things like that. What about the characters do we see here that's unique?
So I've always said, and people kind of laugh when I explain this, the characters get dressed up for Halloween. So you're not going to find Mickey in his traditional suit. This year, Mickey is a vampire. And there have been years where Tigger was a flower and things like that. So the characters are dressed themselves as well. Typically, you find them in a station, but out in the park. This year, one of the neat things they did is if you go back to the character area, back behind Dumbo and behind the gift shop, there's a little character barn there, which is a great way to meet multiple characters without getting in multiple lines. But this year they put up a Halloween backdrop for them. So not only will you get them in their special costumes, but you'll get them in a special setting.
Very cool. What about our good friends from The Nightmare Before Christmas?
This is your opportunity of the year to find Jack and Sally. They will make character appearances during the Halloween party only. So again, there are people that buy the tickets just for these things. I will say the tough thing with Jack and Sally and some of the other more unique characters that come out is characters come out for a very limited time. That is both for their safety and I think crowd control reasons. Some of them, when you look at the map, will say 7 to 9 p.m. They are not there continuously. They will take quick breaks and have multiple sets. But some characters might only come out for 20 or 30 minutes. And to me, this is the tough part. They will not finish the line. Unlike how I was saying, rides stay open and they get all the way through the line. The character set is that amount of time. So you may get to the line for Jack and Sally, and they will either say to you, you can just get online. They might tell you that the line is closed. They're not even letting more people get online. Or they will let you get online and say there is no guarantee, depending on timing, that you will get to them. The popular characters, the line often closes before their character time starts.
Wow.
So if seeing somebody, a particular character, is the top thing on your list, I suggest getting there 20 to 30 minutes before their appearance time.
So you
mentioned the good news is you'll wait early and you'll get to the character quickly instead of waiting once they appear. But well, then you get in that meat that you really want.
Yes, because there's nothing worse than a kid melting down because their character had walked away that you've waited online for. So that's powerful information to be equipped with. But you mentioned lines, and I'll tell you, the thing that was the most popular in my traveling group, my family, was the short lines for the attractions, is that we got to ride everything we wanted to ride, in some cases multiple times. And that was a big, big selling point for my family.
It is. And I'm going to give you 2 tips for the night. One is there is no virtual queue. So you can walk right on, or hopefully walk on quickly, to Tiana's Bayou and Tron. No virtual queue needed. Just get online. But I want to back up when we talk about short lines to what we talked about with timing. So years ago, Disney made a change in the party dynamic because the park used to close at 6 and the party used to start at 6. And they realized that that didn't work because their policy allows people who are there during the day to get online up to 5:59 and 59 seconds.
Right.
The reason that there's that 1 hour gap is to allow popular rides like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train to start to clear out the ride. That line could take an hour and 10 minutes. So there are people who are not party guests who might be getting on Seven Dwarfs at 7:05 or 7:10. If you are a party guest, you can get on any line at 6 o'clock. But I don't suggest that you go to the big thrill rides. They still have lines from the day that they're clearing out. So do things that you want to do that have short waits, typically at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and head over to those thrill rides more like 7:30, 8, 8:30. You will find a much shorter wait.
Makes total sense. That's why you're the Disney master. Let's talk about the shows. I know there are a couple of things that, well, really one thing that I know you have to see every year, which I think is a fun thing to talk about real quick.
The Cadaver Dans. They are the Dapper Dans rebranded for Halloween. They do many sets a night, though they typically are done by about 11. So again, fit them in earlier. You can typically find them over in Frontierland. And again, that is one show that we haven't talked about yet. There's the stage show, the fireworks, the dance parties. There's also a Descendants dance party this year. So many opportunities that, quite frankly, Disney's looking to keep people off of the attraction lines to keep it shorter for those that are there on focusing on the rides.
Oh, that Descendants thing. I can't let my daughter hear that. If that's going to be a surprise for her, she'll be eating that up like crazy. Speaking of eating it up, we had talked about candy a bunch, and I know that there are plenty of people that travel to these types of experiences and their kids have certain food allergies. So let's make sure we let everybody know how that gets handled.
If you're not familiar with it, hopefully you will be after our show. The teal pumpkin is a national movement for Halloween. If you have a child trick-or-treating at your house and they show up holding a teal pumpkin, that is your sign that they have allergies. Hopefully you have a non-candy item for them. At Disney, they also, in addition to their regular trick-or-treat bags, they have a teal trick-or-treat bag for those with allergens. Unfortunately, they cannot go to all of the trick-or-treat stops. It takes away that element. The double fortunate side is you won't spend a lot of your time trick-or-treating. There are 2 teal locations, and your child can go and pick up things to fill their bag. There are food items that are allergen friendly, but there are also some cute little toys and stickers and things, so they won't be left out of that experience.
I think it's a great thing, and I know that it's not something that you necessarily know unless you're living in that space. So it's similar to that American Sign Language piece that we mentioned. So I'm glad you did that. All right, let's give another tip, and then we'll kind of wrap it up.
I think my top tip for the party, which goes against a lot of my general Walt Disney World planning, is to get a party map. You can find them all over the internet nowadays, and make a plan before you go. Know that if seeing the Hocus Pocus stage show is a thing, what time is it? What's your backup time? And really kind of create a route and an idea that works for you, because unlike a park day, there really aren't second chances here. And you'll see as you start to plan it out what you hope is going to work for you. Have, as I always say, have that must-do list. Let everybody in your family pick their top item or 2 to make sure that you get it in. And then, have an idea what your next choices are.
Yeah, I think
it'll make for a great night and feel like money well spent.
I think it's sound advice, right? Because it's the type of thing where you could easily get lost in the shuffle, but you also want to have some flexibility to it too. I know when people have asked me, should I do it? My answer is I would do it every year. So yes, I would do it again and again and again and again and again until my kids are like, okay, we've had enough. And, that's just been my experience. I don't know if that's the experience you've been told by, your clients or that you've experienced yourself.
I think for some, it's a hard choice. I don't recommend it, honestly, for first timers because this one night is a lot more than one additional park day for you, as long as you're not doing a single day pass. And I always say, save the add-ons for your second trip or your third trip. Everything is special for your kids the first time. You don't have to blow out all the stops with all the extras because they're already overly impressed. I do love the party. I go frequently. I do this party. I do the Christmas party, the new Jollywood Nights that's back for 2024. The parties are a great time. I personally enjoy going at night when it's a little bit cooler. The crowds are a little bit less. I am definitely a stage show person, so I enjoy those extras. The other tip that I will give you is please remember how late you are getting back to your room. Again, if you're truly staying through the end of the party, you might not board a bus till somewhere between 12:45 and 1 o'clock. Your head may not hit the pillow till close to 2 a.m. So plan your next day very carefully. That should not be the day that you're, having 7 a.m. breakfast at Cape May Cafe.
Well, and the one thing that we didn't cover that I think is super important, and you're dealing with Orlando, so you're dealing with weather, you're dealing with vacationing, so there's all sorts of complications that could go this, that, and the other thing. This is non-refundable, this party.
It is. So rain is always an option. Be prepared. And I don't necessarily suggest it your first night, depending on your flight time, because again, flights get delayed. Flights unfortunately get canceled. It's a big investment to, be looking forward to this and not being able to deliver.
Sandy, I appreciate you taking the time this week to break down this party that we love so much. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
And that's a wrap this week on Let's Talk Diz. If anyone you know could benefit from this or any show, please share, have them like and subscribe. And don't forget to reach out to the folks at Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination planning. Make it a great week. And as always, keep making memories.